This is my smoked trout and chive tart. It is delightful and minimal ingredients. So you can make your short crust pastry if you like. I've made mine and I've got many different recipes online. Or if you like, I will allow you to use some store-bought short crust pastry. I'm using a 23 centimetre tart tin and it has a detachable base. That's going to be very handy for when I want to demould it. And this is looking good. So what I like to do is roll my pastry off the baking paper and just very lightly roll it on top of itself. And it makes it so much easier to transfer to the tin. We'll roll that over. And very lightly with your thumbs, just go around and just press that in. And to ensure we don't get any air bubbles, we also grab a fork and just pierce it all over. And that's going to ensure it doesn't puff up as it cooks. So I'm just going to just press down on the tart tin and that'll give us a lovely even edge. Now, don't throw this out. If you've made fresh pastry, you can roll it back up, pop it into the fridge for next time, or you can make a second tart. That's what Mum would make. Or you can use it up straight away and make a smaller one, so you just got a little extra maybe for a lunchbox. Okay, I've got some rice here and we want to blind bake. So on with the baking paper and the rice. You can see I've filled it all the way up. That just really presses it down so that pastry cooks and sticks to the mould perfectly. All right, I'll place that onto a tray and this goes into the oven. Now, I have my temperature set at 180 and I like to use a mixture of fan force and bottom heating. It's going to cook for about 10 minutes. I'll remove all the rice and cook it for a further 5 minutes and then we can get on to the filling. Okay, we can see that the base is just cooked and now we can make the filling. So 4 eggs into a bowl. I love this bowl that I have here. It's sort of like a cross between a bowl and a jug, which is going to make it much easier to transfer this savoury custard to our tart tin. So I don't like my tart to be really, really eggy. I think that the best ones should taste really velvety, and we get that from some cream. So some thickened cream, and we're going to add a good amount of it. Break up those eggs. In fact, I'll use a whisk for this. That's looking good. To season this, a pinch of salt, and I also love the addition of some lemon zest. That lemon zest is going to cut through the richness of the cream and also that hot smoked trout. Fantastic. All right, last ingredient, chives. And I don't want just a small sprinkle of chives, I want a good hit of chives. So I'm going to add a good amount of it and I want to see it throughout the whole dish. So I'm going to say about half of a really big bunch. That's looking pretty good. And we'll add this to our egg and cream mixture. Oh, look at that colour. And into the custard bowl. All right, quick little mix. And we're good to go. Now, before you add this to the tart tin, you want to add the chunkier parts. So that is the trout. You can buy this at all your supermarkets now. It's hot smoked trout. You could also just use smoked salmon and chop it into little chunks. And you want little pieces, larger pieces. You can be quite generous with it. I don't want it to be dainty. I want to really taste the hot smoked trout. All right, once I've completely covered the base of the tart tin, we can fill it up with some cheese. Don't overdo the cheese, just a sprinkling of cheddar cheese, filling in all those gaps. This is going to almost act like the glue to everything here. And then we'll grab our savoury custard and then very slowly pour it in and let it trickle down all into those little gaps. This now goes back into our oven. Now I've still got the bottom heating on and the fan force, but I like to cook this at a lower temperature now, just so that custard sets nicely. It's going to cook for about 20 minutes or until the custard is just set at that 160-degree heat. Oh, perfect. Well, I'm so impressed with the results of this. It looks so good. But when you bring it out of the oven, do let it settle for about 15 to 20 minutes before serving it. You don't want it to be too piping hot. So now that I can handle it, I will take it out of the tart shell, and the base we're just going to carefully take off. I've just got a palette knife here. We'll just take that off very slowly. You don't want to get to this stage and break it. Okay, and then we'll slide that off. Oh, gorgeous. And before I slice into this, I'm just going to prepare a little garnish to go with it. So just some mesclun lettuce leaves onto a plate. And you can dress this with a mustard dressing, or I just like it really fresh. That lemon that we had before for the zest, we'll use the juice just to dress it. Always extra virgin olive oil and a hint of salt. That's it. Keep it super simple. And then to cut into this beauty, a nice generous wedge. Look at this flaky pastry. And look at that, it is absolutely chockers of that hot smoked ocean trout. You can see it's creamy, not too eggy, loads of chives, the way I like it. Place that onto a plate, and this is the style of lunch I crave. It's very French to have a quiche or a tart like this for lunch, or even for a dinner. Everyone is going to love that. Hot smoked trout and chive tart. Give that one a go.